It's just the user or the landowner. And the grower needs a license before the grow, 80 days before the seeding. So it's not so easy to grow in Hungary nowadays.
Volevo puntualizzare una cosa su quest'ultima lastrina, perché comunque è riassunta tutta la normativa ungherese. E se vedete la buffer zone è quella che noi abbiamo chiamato distanza di coltivazione, cultivation distance, loro partono da 400 metri. Un esempio vi ho fatto vedere come il limite, la distanza più piccola che abbiamo oggi nell'Unione Europea è la Svezia, che sono 25 metri. Quindi già la differenza nell'approccio ungherese, partendo da 400 metri, vedete come già hanno una disciplina molto rigida. Ma la cosa che comunque lei va puntualizzato sono queste due, perché tutti gli Stati membri, ecco perché lei ha detto la normativa ungherese è oggi la più rigida che abbiamo nell'Unione Europea per quanto riguarda la coltivazione degli organismi geneticamente modificati, perché in tutti gli altri Paesi membri, dove abbiamo una normativa notificata dalla Commissione Europea, quindi una normativa ufficiale, non c'è bisogno di questo consenso preventivo. In tutti gli altri Paesi l'importante è che il GM Farmer mandi una notifica e dice io da domani, io tra un mese inizio a coltivare prodotti geneticamente modificati, e se il nego o il proprietario della terra vicino non è d'accordo, non succede niente, lui può coltivare prodotti geneticamente modificati. In Ungheria tutti i vicini e tutti i padroni della terra che sono all'interno di questi distanza che può oscillare fino a 800 metri devono dare al coltivatore GM un consenso scritto. This is very important for your rule.
Thank you very much, you were perfect. So as I said, 400 meters is a very big buffer zone. Because, for example, you can see some member states in the European Union. For example, in France, it's just 50 meters, or in the Netherlands, it's just 25. So we can see the Netherlands is 25, and in Hungary it's 400, and it can be doubled, and then will be 800 meters. So we can see that this is a very big debate in the European Union, and I think that we can't see the end of this debate. But in Hungary it stays, so we will hold this 400 meters, because it's for us very important. And I will speak about the scientific arguments, so that you will know a bit more about it. And we can see the other facts too. Unfortunately, we had with the PowerPoint some problems here with pictures, because at home on my computer the picture is behind the screen, but we don't understand what happened on this laptop. Whatever, I speak about it. So we can see that in the other member states, it's not always so important, the consent of the actual user neighbor or the neighbor landowner. Sometimes it's compulsory, sometimes it isn't, it's not necessary. And the license is not compulsory in the other member states. So that's why we can say that Hungary has the strongest regulation now in the European Union. Let's go on with our coexistence decree. As I said, that in this decree we can see the special rules about the coexistence. So simply we can say that in this decree we can find the special rules about the genetically modified plants and about the coexistence. So this is our coexistence system. So, about the process of Hungarian approval, the producer, who can be an applicant, needs a license, and I can speak about two steps, because there are always two steps. Oh, and very important that here you can read that it's by Veronika Mora. She's a Hungarian woman, and she knows a lot about the Hungarian system, and she can help us, for me and for Mr. Chiaraboli, to understand the regulation. And that's why I think that it's important to speak. Okay, so let's go back to the process of the Hungarian approval. So we have two steps. The first step is the most important thing, the education, because the producer needs to attend a special education about the coexistence rules. Because if someone would like to grow genetically modified organisms, then they have to know this strict rule. And if the applicant has finished this education, then comes the second step. And in the second step, we will get the final approval. So the applicant needs two approvals, the preliminary approval and a final approval. Should we stop or can I go on? Should we stop? No. Okay. So the producer needs two approvals before the growing. And in the second step, if the applicant has the preliminary approval, then he or she has to collect the agree of the neighbors. So every single neighbor has to say that, okay, my neighbor can grow this genetically modified organism and I don't have problem with it. And it's often 50 neighbors, so it means often in Hungary 50 neighbors, because inside the buffer zone lives a lot of neighbors. And if there's one neighbor who can say no, then the applicant can't grow and won't get the final, so the second approval. So here can stop the whole thing. If there's one neighbor who don't want it, then it's finished. And the applicant won't grow this GMO. So this is why the Hungarian system is so strict, because there's always one neighbor. I'm sure there's always one neighbor who can say that no, and then won't be in the neighborhood genetically modified maize or potato or something else. But theoretically, when every neighbor says that okay, you can grow your GMO, then the applicant can to start the seed, and then there are several other strict rules too, so we can't finish. What are the other provisions? For example, the application of the rotation or the coordination of production cycle with neighbor growers. Yes, neighbors are always very good friends because they have a lot of provisions. And the coordination, after the coordination, the applicant has to eliminate of incidents of emergencies and to clean and tidy everything. So it's very important to clean and tidy the roads, sides, the ditches and everything, because the mixing, to mix the normal and the GMOs, so they can't mix them, because then after that everything will be a GMO. So the label on the label is saying that it is GMO. So that's why the clean and tidy up is very important. And the applicant or the producer, already we will speak about the producer. So the producer has to write a growing log record. The growing log record must kept and about all of the activities. So there's written in this record everything about the ground, and it includes the record of all measures and harvesting, delivery and storage, so everything about the year. Now about the inspection. Inspection is a very important point in the ground, because we have a special authority in Hungary. It's called the National Agricultural Qualifying Institute, and the inspection is made by this institute. And the harmonization of the EU legislation, of course, the number 8029 was the ground, because we have to write this, we have to make this system. So you can see that the practical application is questionable, because why? because the producer